38th video for my eShop web application project. In this video, I will be programming the message sending and viewing process. This is the code for my message page. Here at the top, just after the div with the class container fluid, I've given a PHP script inside which I've given require connection.php because I need to be connected with my database in this page. Then I've given an if condition to check whether if a user is in session. If a user is not in session, then an echo will come from the server side as please log in first. Then I've taken the email of the user in session and stored it as $mail. Then I've started programming this part, this area. First, I'm designing the received part. Here at the top, inside PHP scripts, give a search query to the chat table to get all the mail, to get all the messages that have been sent to the user with the email $mail, and I've ordered it by the date time in the descending order. Then I've taken the number of rows of $message rs and stored it as $message number. Then I've given a for loop for every row in $message rs and stored the data as $message data. Then I've given an if condition to check the status of $message data. If it is equal to 0, then this part, the block will appear with the background primary. Otherwise, this block will appear in the background with BG body. In the body, I've given an on-click event for this div, view messages, and inside brackets I have echoed the email of the sender. Inside this for loop, I've given another search query to the user table where the email is equal to the email of the user who have sent the message. Then I've stored it as $user data. I've given another search query to the profile image table where the user email is equal to the email of the user who have sent the message, and I've stored it as $image data. Then I've taken the path from $image data and echoed it as the src of the image tag. If a path have been set, if there is a profile picture. Otherwise, I have given the new user SVG file as the src. Then here we have the details of the message. I've given the name of the sender. I've echoed it from $user data, and I've echoed the date time of the message from $message data, and I've also echoed the message content from $message data. This same code is in the else part, with the only difference being the BG body in the class list. Then I've closed the for loop. Now I'm designing the send part. I've given a search query to the chat table where the sender's email is $mail, and I've ordered it by date time in the descending order. Then I've given a for loop for each row in $messages rs2, and I've stored it as $message rs2. Then I've created a for loop to create this div for each row in $messages rs2. Then I've stored the data from $messages rs2 as $message data2. Here also I have given the on-click event view messages, and inside brackets I've echoed the email of the sender. Then I've given a search query to the user table where the email is equal to the email of the receiver, and I've stored it as $user data2, and I've created another search query to the profile image table where the user email is equal to the email of the receiver, and I've stored it as $image data2. Then the src of the image tag, I've echoed the path from $image data2. If the user doesn't have a profile image, then the default profile image will be the new user image. Then in this div, I've echoed the first name of the receiver, I've echoed the date of the message, and I've echoed the message content here. After closing this for loop, I've created a div and given it the ID chat box. This is that div. This is the view messages function in the JavaScript side. Here, I've created new XML HTTP request and stored it as var, and I've sent this to the server side using the get method to the view message process.php file, and I've attached the email to this. This is the view message process.php file. Here, inside PHP scripts, I've given session start and I've given require connection.php. Then I've grabbed the email that was sent to the server side and stored it as $sender mail, and I've grabbed the email of the user in session and stored it as $receiver email, and I've given a search query to the chat table where the sender email is equal to $sender email, or the receiver email is equal to $sender email, and I've stored it as $message rs. Then I've given a for loop for each row in $message rs, and I've stored the data of $message rs as $message data. Then I've given an if condition. If sender's email is equal to $sender email and the receiver's email is equal to $receiver email, I've given a search query to the user table where the email is equal to the sender's email, and I've stored it as $user rs. Then I've given another search query to the profile image table where the user email is equal to the sender's email, and I've stored it as $image rs. Then I've closed the PHP script and I've created this div to display the message. Here I've given an if condition to check whether if the user has a profile image, and if they have a profile image, the image src will be taken from the $image data and echoed here. Otherwise, the default image src will be the new user svg file. Then in this div, we have the details of the message, we have the message content, the date time of the message, and for this paragraph in which I'm echoing the email of the sender, I've given the class invisible and the ID rmail. Then I've opened another PHP script. I've continued the if ladder. If the receiver's email is equal to $sender email and the sender's email is equal to $receiver's email, then I've given another search query to the user table where the email is equal to the sender's email, and I've stored it as $user rs. Then I've closed the PHP script and I've created this div to display the message that was received. Here I've echoed the message content and I've also echoed the date time of the message. I've opened another PHP script. If the status of the message is 0, I've given an update query to the chat table to set the status as 1, where the sender's email is equal to $sender email and the receiver's email is equal to $receiver email. In the JS side, I've stored the response from the server side as var t. Then I've grabbed the div with the ID chat box and changed the inner HTML of that div as t. Afterwards, we have the div for the send messages part, here in the send messages part, I've created this input group with an input field to type the message that you want to send, and then the button to send that message. For the button, I've given the on-click event send message, and for the input field, I've given the ID message text. This is the function send message. Here, I've grabbed the paragraph with the ID rmail and stored it as var receiver mail, and I've grabbed the input field with the ID message text and stored it as var message text. Then, I've created this form to send this data to the server side, and I've made new XML HTTP request and stored it as var r. I've sent the form to the server side using the post method to the send message process.php file in the server side using Ajax. This is the send message process.php file. Here inside PHP scripts, I've given session start require connection.php. Then I've grabbed the email of the user in session, and I've grabbed the details that were sent to the server side and stored them like this. Then I've written this code to get the current date and time. Then I've given an insert query to the chat table in my database to set the content, date, time, status from and to with the values $message, $date, 0, $sender and $receiver. Then an echo will come from the server side as success. In the JS side, I've stored the response from the server side as var t, and if t is equal to success, then the chat box will reload, otherwise an alert will display the response from the server side.